What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's time for episode 8 of Guardians franchise. We're here on the verge of opening day, and I last left y'all around late January, and some things have definitely happened. Nothing too crazy. Like I said, it's been a bit of a quiet offseason. I said that last episode that's what we were angling toward. We did get that big infusion of money. I was looking for ways to maybe spend that. I didn't really come up with any. I continued to kind of labor on a Daniel Espino trade, and of course, spoiler alert, I did not do that. Here he is on the team, and Vlad Jr. was a consideration. He was offered up, and I was like, that could work. I kind of sat on that for a bit, thinking that could really work. With the contract, though, I started to balk. 27 mil this year, then 35, and then 4 37s. Now, that only takes him through age 31, though. So, he's so young, and it is a foundational piece, but it's a foundational piece at first, already at the end of the defensive spectrum. So I got a little uncomfortable with it at the end there, and of course, didn't do anything. Another guy that was offered up was Marcus Semien. Another player I love in real life, so it would be easy to kind of root for. 4 years at 26 mil per. I wasn't, totally put off by that with this big boost of money. Actually, the last year's 20 mil, excuse me. With the big infusion of money, I'm like, well, we can afford that. Maybe we can get him to pay for a little bit, massage the deal. I didn't take it much further than kind of looking at it and deciding, no, it's okay. And one of the big reasons is that I finally realized something that, I talked about how you guys were shouting at your screen trying to tell me where the player development lab situation was, where I could have shown you where to extend how many players you can do. I'm sure some of y'all have been screaming at your screens recently about my, desire to find a right-handed hitter for the team, and screamed that, hey, dummy, Condon's going to be the guy. It will be Charlie Condon. Now, it might not be until later this year. He did not break camp, as you can see here, but he's going to be the guy. You don't have to find the foundational right-hander. It needs to be Condon. So I stopped panicking so much about that and thinking like we have to move Espino because, the main reason I wanted to was just that it's a big chip that we could use to get the big righty bat, and he's fragile already. That's it. In the lack of control, right? There's some relief risk. But other than that, he's awesome. He's top 20 prospect with unbelievable stuff, the capability of becoming a really nice starter for us, and he's a leader. So relax, Paul. Might still trade him, but right now we're not. And I'll get into the game plan with him after we kind of cover everything. International amateur free agents. I biffed it a bit, y'all. I keep forgetting, and I shouldn't say keep forgetting because this is my first sim, but I've seen it in others. There's not like a set period when the international free agent stuff starts. I think like once you start getting enough scouting on them, you can start making the offers. So I'm sitting here doing the practices and everything, and then I realize, oh wait, it's already in January and there hasn't been like, oh, now it's time to start signing them. So I missed a few that were signed, but it wasn't terrible, okay? I did get a couple signed, and I think you're going to be happy with the results. I'm just mad that I didn't get kind of the whole lay of the land there because I was asleep at the wheel, so I'll be better on that going forward. But we did get Mauricio Aldrete, who does have a 70 potential, thanks to his huge power, potentially 85 power, 65 I. So kind of an all-or-nothing, 3 true outcomes type bat. I really, because I biffed it and did kind of have to go with what was left, at least there was a blue player available with this huge power. Frankly, I signed him to be a trade chip. I'm just going to be straight up right now because, first off, these players take forever to develop, but also the kind of the all-or-nothing nature of his game. He doesn't bring much defense. He has that awful avoid K rate. I'm thinking moving Aldrete to be a big trade piece, hopefully in the next year or two. Hopefully we're contending and there's a reason to make a move like that. That's the idea here with Aldrete. And then I also got a guy named Juan Canul. Any other potential pronunciations? Canul. And I don't know if there's supposed to be a tilde over the end because we don't have tildes and accent marks in the game. So let me know on that one. But anyway, I'm not going to say that he is definitely better than the other guy, but you could make the case, especially on a bang for your buck situation, because he was 390K. Aldretti was the rest of the money. He was 4.4 mil. So Canul was a total bargain. He's got 65 power, which is 20 points less on the potential, 55 I, which is 10 points less, but then 65 gap, 55 avoid K, 55 BABIP. Not much defense for him either, but hey, the bat's pretty intriguing, and he was so cheap. So I really like that pickup. So that's what I did in the international market. I also made a little deal right before international free agency, and I picked up, I did address some of the right-handedness that I have been obsessing over, but on a cheap scale. I got Johnny DeLuca from the Tampa Bay Rays along with Mason Hour, and a little multiplayer deal here. Mason Hour, kind of a slappy speedster with some good defense type. I've seen him become a stud. This was in last year's game for Tampa Bay specifically. And then in another sim, I want to say it was another YouTuber who got him. They were doing maybe Twins, which would be Faye if it was the Twins, if I have the right memory there. And Mason Hour was a badass. So I've seen Mason Hour pan out, and he was, he's actually kind of the secondary piece here because DeLuca was who I wanted for his good work against righties, his ability to play center, and he's a solid piece. So we got him and Hour, DeLuca and Hour, with Wade Meckler being the biggest piece. He just didn't fit, right? I've been talking about all this right-handed, left-handedness. He's a lefty. He doesn't have power. I'm looking for righty power. He literally does not check either of the two biggest boxes that I've been looking for right now. So, bad timing here for Meckler. He came over in the Lamont Wade deal. And frankly, happy to have brought him on because that was a nice little supplemental piece that kind of spurred this deal here. We also threw in Will Brennan. Again, lefty, no power. Oh, also ripped up his knee a little bit, out for 3 weeks. He had not been hurt when we traded him. Decent outfielder. I like the contact profile. There is some potential value there, but just not what we're looking for. And then I had to trade the meme, Connor Cox, KOKX. What an amazing way to spell that, by the way. Listen, outside of the great name and kind of the secondary skills profile here with the speed and bunting, there's just not a ton here. Watching the Tigers try to polish off this 8-3 win at the Diamondbacks. 2 outs in the 9th, so hopefully they finish it up. But yeah, so nice little deal there. I was pretty happy with that one. Got that one locked up. I also continued getting right-handed power and did the Renfroe deal. I think I briefly mentioned him last episode, and I had been looking at him and thinking, you know what? I went back to it. I said, hey, what you want? 7.5 mil, done and done. 1 year deal. Absolutely decimates lefties, right? Like if he's even just a short side platoon guy, I'm totally fine with that. I don't really want him playing against righties too often. Solid arm out and right as well, so plays the corners pretty well. I do like that too from Renfroe. And, just kind of a nice depth piece. So we got 5 outfielders on the team right now. This is the team, but I'll go over it in just a moment. First things first. Actually, many things before we get into the lineup review. But the first thing on that list is the first development lab report. It didn't go well. Tigers game did. They win. It didn't go terribly well. Whoops, sorry. Knocking shit around over here. I said I want to go 5 for 8. We went 2 for 8, but then maybe not even that because one guy kind of went negative. Like not only did he not get it, but he's worse. So it was rough. Heston Kierstead on the plate discipline, nothing. No noticeable changes. Okay. Here's the one that went negative. Tanner Bybee. We tried to get him to improve his pitch movement. Holy crap, did this go terribly. And I forgot that there's a risk reward. You can't just throw everybody in willy-nilly. And first off, I didn't know that he had a low work ethic. I don't know if he just developed this or always had it. If he always had it, then that's kind of another biff on me. I'm biffing everything right now, bro. Because I don't think I want to put low work ethic guys in the development lab. If he already had this, oh man, I'm probably going to go back and look at an old video for when I'm on his profile, because then that's just a bad move. Anyway, he got hammered. He did not like working, in the offseason. His velo dropped and his control dropped. And that was his calling card, was the control. So the potential and the current go down. Disastrous for Tanner Bybee. That sucked. Andres Jimenez's plate discipline, however, went outstandingly. +5 on the potential and current eye. So he's up to a 50. That's nice. That's that turning point there, getting from the 45 to 50. I feel like is just a nice bridge to cross over there and can really take you to another level as a player, right? He's in these 5-6% walk rates. If he can now get up to like an 8%, it's only 3 percentage points, but I think it can really help. Right now his OBPs the last 2 years, right around that 315, 320 mark. If he's at 335 plus, that's really, really nice there at the top of the order against righties. So I like that move for Jimenez. No improvement for Chase DeLauder's plate discipline. Thankfully, he didn't just fall apart either. Joey Cantillo could not improve his control. That was kind of a bummer. However, immediately after, he got a boost on the February dev report. His stuff went up to 70. His potential movement went up from 55 to 60. So he didn't get that control, but everything else got better. So we'll take that. That ends up not being too terrible. Josh Naylor couldn't get any more bat speed, which was unfortunate. We kind of wanted his power to go up. But then, it did go up. Yeah. So that was weird. Because I guess, it didn't go up from the program, but then just, his own work or something? I don't know. Because this came in a week after. These reports are on February 22nd, and then on March 1st, that report came in and said, he does get +5 after all. And a little speed for some reason, so that's kind of hilarious. But we'll take it. So it ended up sort of working. Let's write it like this. He decided to do the program that we asked him to do, despite not wanting to, right? Because he's outspoken. He kind of, marches to the beat of his own drum. He was doing some of his own work. He did happen to pick up a couple pointers from the things that we were doing begrudgingly. But then when he came out of there, he didn't want to say that we had helped him. He said, no, my power is better. My exit velo is up. But it's because of what I was doing in my backyard, not your little fancy program that you are running over here. Okay? So that's how we're going to rationalize that one with Naylor failing, but then immediately going up in the category we needed. Brian Rocchio trying to put some pop for him. He does have that 10 potential there that we're trying to tap into. It doesn't work, and we didn't get any supplemental bonuses there on the next report or anything. But then Franco Alamán does get the successful stamina, and stamina improves by 5 points, which means he can now start potentially. And now this becomes pretty intriguing because he has brilliant stuff, 55 control with a potential 60, and now enough stamina to start. So I am very excited by that. So the wins that we got were pretty good. It's just that the Bybee hit really sucked. I'm still sticking with him. He's in the rotation right now. But if he gets off to a terrible start, man, I don't know. I might throw Espino in there. He had a brutal spring. I'm not gonna read too much into that, but I'm just saying. So, further looking at that March dev report there, because there were some other things that took place on that. Actually, it was just a very small one. It was the Cantillo jump, the Bybee drop, the Naylor jump, and a DeLauder drop. He lost power. Wait, so, okay. These are all 4 guys that went to the camp, and then they're the only ones on the report. It has to be the camp. It says no improvement here. And I believe it because it says it, but it has to be. And then DeLauder, it says no improvement, but then he immediately gets worse than the thing he was training on. So I don't know. Residual effects, whatever the case may be, it was not the best first run. Now, once you go through that one and you're getting reports back on February 22nd, there's not much time left to do too many things. You can do some of the smaller, easy things to get done. But I said, hey, let's run another batch of them. We might as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the results there from March 28th. We put another bunch of guys in, trying to improve their defense, basically. That's almost exclusively what it was. whether it was improving at your own position or trying to learn a new position. So, a chance for 8 guys to get in there and do some things defensively. Chase DeLauder did improve his defense in left field. Now he's a 55-60-60. Okay, sweet. We love that. Then we had Bo Naylor learning a new position. Successful. First base unlocked. Let's go. Because he's not a very good catcher, but he is an intriguing hitter. And third base is just not going to work. A, because J-Ram is there and he's very good at it. But more importantly, so actually that should be A. A, because he sucks at it. B, because J-Ram is there and very good. There. That's the proper order for that. I like that I said A and then said, but more importantly. Well, then why wouldn't that be A? Josh Naylor, his brother, also, he's like, you're going to put me through 2 programs? Okay, fine. I kind of like this because we had him doing, now it was a little bit out there and it got some buzz in the, Twitter space or whatnot, going a little viral because we basically had Josh Naylor doing Tom Amansky defensive drills, but he was enjoying the shit out of them. Right? We had him throwing the ball into the trash can from the outfield and stuff. We didn't show him like the actual videos. We were just taking all the lessons from there and teaching them to him. He ate it up. So you got to meet them at their level, right? I'm not saying that his level is only learning like Tom Amansky. That made it sound like I was critiquing his mental level. I mean his ability to engage the material. Has to be engaging, right? It has to be fun. He doesn't want to go out there and learn the fundamentals. You bring your arm forward and then you do that. No. How far away can he stand in the outfield and chuck it into the trash can? And he was nailing it. He was doing it from center field. And the nailing it there was kind of an inadvertent pun. So love that for me. But anyway, I'm pretending like Josh Naylor is like this total out there guy. I mean, he kind of is. I don't even know if I'm pretending. First off, he gets the outspoken personality class here. It does say low intelligence. I don't really agree with that. I know he was in a freak knife prank gone wrong, but who among us? I mean, let thee throw the first stone who hasn't been in a knife prank gone awry. I mean, boys being boys, am I right? Kids being kids too. Come on. No, he accidentally stabbed Stone Garrett in a knife prank gone wrong. I think I mentioned this in the first episode. That's still one of the craziest things ever. So that's why we're doing these little storylines with him. I just wanted you guys to know it's playful, it's fun. I'm not out here trying to make deep commentaries on Josh Naylor as a person. The things we publicly know and the way we see him on the field, it's a bit out there. So we're having some fun with it. Not that anybody's saying anything. I might be sounding defensive. I'm not. Y'all are chill. I'm just having fun with it. So anyway, I appreciated that dev lab went really well because Heston Kierstead, improvement in at center field. Boom, worked. Now he can play a fringe center. Now I don't mind putting him out there. I was going to stretch him out there anyway, but now with 60 range, okay. Once a week type of vibe, maybe I can do that. Johnny DeLuca, center field, no changes, but he's a 65-50, so he's already great there. I was just trying to make him like super badass. David Fry tried to improve my catcher, didn't work. That's a bummer because he really is a bat in search of a defensive home. And his bat really isn't quite good enough except against lefties. So he's kind of a short side bat in search of a home. So it is a tough fit. Again, a player I like in real life, but I'm finding it difficult to really fit him in the mix right now. Kyle Stowers' defense did improve. He's now 50-55-60. Perfect for the corners. We'll take that. And then Tyler Freeman, no noticeable changes with his shortstop defense, but he's a 65 range already with 60 error, so we'll take that. I mean, he's already pretty good. I was just trying to make him really good. So from there, a few days later, we got the April development report, and Emmanuel Clase's movement went down, and so did his stamina, but that's all right. He's going into a lighter role this year anyway, so the stamina drop kind of fits. Bieber's potential stuff went down, and so did his stamina. Current and potential stuff. And so did his stamina. That was kind of a bummer. He also got hurt for 2-week day-to-day back issue the very first day of spring. So that was pretty cool after signing him to see that. I love that for us. But he's fragile. That's part of why he's cheap. We have to remember that. I mean, that's why The vesting is an innings situation. So we know what we're getting into here. If we get a couple like 130 inning type seasons, well, that's kind of what you pay for at 15, 17 mil, as long as he's at Bieber level quality. And I'll take even these last 2 years where it's kind of a mid to upper threes ERA with a mid to upper twos whip. I'll take that. I would love peak Bieber, duh. But if all I get is 2023, 2024 version for 120 to 125, 130 innings, we can live with that. We're trying to spike more, but that's what we need kind of baseline. Miles Straw has become a bit of a thorn in my side right now because obviously, I don't want him. Like, he's not going to play for us. But now he refuses to go back down to the minors because he came on the roster for spring, of course. Oh, his gap power improved. Wow. Now we'll get him in the lineup. It's a 45. Did you see that? He has 65 range. Cool. That is something, but he has 25 power, for God's sakes. Like, what do you want me to do? And trading him, there were actually like a couple okay deals, but I don't know, man. We'd have to eat his money and then take on a contract. And some of the contracts were kind of manageable, but some were like absurd. It's like, well, why would I do that? And now nobody wants to do it. What if I eat the whole deal? And I said this at the very beginning, like, even if it didn't work out, because I kind of knew that I just wasn't really going to be liking having Miles Straw. But I was like, even if it's a total stone cold bust of a deal, it's just not going to kill you financially. So it won't be the end of the world if that is the case. I'm seeing if some of the guys that, we can't get Stone Garrett, dude. He'll be traumatized the second he walks back in the clubhouse and sees old Knifey McNailer. No, okay, so Yariel Rodriguez was available, and he's not that good in the game. And he's making money, too. So it's like they want me to pay his money and Straws. And I was like, no, thanks. You know, Robert Suarez, he's still making money for 3 years. He can opt out. He's not going to, so he's gonna be owed 24 mil. I mean, I could take somebody like Ramon Urias. I wonder how much of this they would just eat. Like, what if I only eat 40? Oh, cool. What if I do 20? I need more than that. 25%. Okay, 25% of the deal. And then we get Ramon Urias, which, whatever. Former Gold Glover, by the way. By the way, how many Gold Gloves you got? Oh, and he can hit lefties, and he's a right-hander. Fits the off-season theme. I think I'm going to do this. Like, it's whatever. Urias going to go to the minors. Shit. Are we going to have... You know what? If he gets picked up, I don't care. I'm trying to get something instead of just cutting him. The other option is to just cut him and eat all of it. So if all we get is 75% of the deal eaten, and then that's it, like we get nothing from it, fine. Let's do that. Again, it's really not that much. It's not that killer of a deal. Oh, wait, we don't have to get him through because he's not on the 40. Let's go. All right, Odias is on or in the organization. Let's go ahead and put him in AAA. Bang. Okay, cool. So that's good. By the way, the first run of projections before spring started, you can check out preseason projections, had us for 86 and 76, second in the division. So that was kind of cool. Oh yeah, they gave us Nick Enright back from the Rule 5. So he's somewhere. Oh, there he is. So he's back. Cool. Thanks, Yankees. They signed an Ozuna Jock super platoon. So maybe they needed the spot back after doing that. Which, hey, makes sense. Do they still have both those guys? There is Marcell Ozuna. And I don't see Jock. Is Jock in AAA? Nope. Okay. Well, we're not going to go searching for it. It's not that big a deal. I just had it on my notes because I had remembered it. Oh, and Brandon Belt got 16 mil from San Diego. Where the hell did they get $16 million at this point? Speaking of San Diego, incidental tangent or incidental segue into something I did want to get into. I considered putting together a deal for Tatis. Now, this one I'm very curious on what y'all think. because he's obviously a god, right? He's still so good. He's not the sim demon that he was 2 games ago when he just ran the show in 23. Every sim we did, he became not just like Barry Bonds, but he put Barry Bonds to shame with some of the seasons he was putting up. Like, that's how crazy he was. But he's still amazing. But he's making money forever. Like, he'd be like our foundational player, you know, pretty much for the entire sim. And I don't know, like, do we want to pick up somebody else's deal and do that? Do we want to find our own guy who can be like that? I don't know. But it was something I considered, and I'm really curious what y'all think on that, because it's not off the table. It's still something that we could maybe do. I don't even know how available he is, but they did like Espino, so a deal surrounding that is what it would be. So I don't know. But yeah, they had 16 mil to pay Brandon Belt. I guess he's their starting DH. Oh, he had a good season. Okay. Oh, he had 37 bombs. Oh, shit. Okay. Damn. Maybe I should figure out what's going on before I run my stupid trap. Hot damn. He finally did it. You know, those of us who are big Brandon Belt fans like myself, Hook 'em Horns, have been saying that if he's just in the right park, he could hit 30. I wouldn't have necessarily thought Houston was that right park because it's usually better for righties, but hey, it worked for him. All right, so we got in right back. I think that's everything right now. So we're caught up on my checklist, which means let's do top 100 together because I haven't looked at it. I saw the email, but I haven't clicked on anything else. Dylan Cruz is the #1 prospect. Cool. That checks out. I like that. Jesus Montenegro is #2, though, international signing from this year. I don't know if we could have gotten him or not. It would have taken all of our bonus, you know. Gosh, that's frustrating. Another one here, David Garfias. Oh my God, he's so good. Let's just pretend these guys hated us. Idiot. Another one, Julio Campuzano. He's pretty good too. Now, he's already first base. He'd be another one that we would have just been waiting to try to trade, if I'm being honest. Oh, Carson Williams was somebody I looked at in an Espino trade, but they wanted like another big piece with him. They were really holding tight on him, and hey, I don't blame him, right? He's an up-the-middle guy who is already major league caliber. He got a sip of coffee, a droplet of coffee, 2 games, 9 plate appearances at the end of last year, but like he can hold the position. He'll be really good at like second, maybe even third. But he can even hold short right now, and the bat is just incredible. So yeah, I kind of looked at something around him, but it was just too expensive. And like I said, I don't blame them. So, all right, quick the minor league report. We are 5th. Okay, we dropped a little bit. We had reached 1 at some point right after the new year, which was kind of cool. But a few guys have smoothed out, and so including our 2 big top 10 guys, they now move down. And Condon's 12th, Espino 16th, but Cantillo's 25th. So we got 3 top 25ers, another in the top 60 with Khalil Watson, another top 80 guy with Valera, and then Chris Lavonis at 93. So 6 top hundos. That's pretty hot. I'm kind of surprised we dropped. But it really scales how many points you get the higher up they are. So when we had, 6 and 9 with those two, with Condon and Espino, we were getting like crazy points. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, he was 9, and I want to say Espino was 6. Espino was 8. So we had 8-9. But even just that, from 8-9 to 12-16 is probably a pretty decent drop. But I like that we've kind of deepened it a bit too. Boston is #1 because it's not just Montenegro. For them, Roman Anthony, Kyle Teal, Miguel Blaze, Braden Montgomery. They got a nice list going. Anybody else? Nope. And then they got another guy in the top 200. The Jacksonville Irish. Look at this. They leave Colorado. This is the Rockies, y'all. They leave Colorado and they just develop an amazing system. Now, of course, they had these guys. These are all drafted with Colorado. They just left the system. But I kind of love, and this is so funny, that they leave and boom, they're instantly a great system. That's kind of hilarious. I don't know where they were ranked previously. They were probably pretty high. Like, this didn't happen overnight. But let's pretend they were like 18th and they moved from 18 to 2 just in the offseason that they move. But yeah, they've got 7 top 100 and another 4 in the next 100. So they're looking pretty nice. And now they don't have that crazy stadium to deal with. Speaking of trade options, Nolan Jones was offered to us, and man, it's so frustrating, obviously, that they just gave him away because he's pretty good. Now, he's not what we need as far as like left-handedness and all that, but I looked at him and I was like, man, it would just be too painful to trade for him too because they let him go. Now, we didn't do that. They did that before we got here. So there we are. We're 5th. Love that. Let's see what the last preseason projection says. It likes us to be 2nd at 93 and 69. So same spot, but even 7 games better now. But Baltimore at 101 wins. They're the cream of the crop, of course. No top hitters or pitchers, and that's the way it was in the first projection too. So we're getting a good win projection. We just don't have any like top of the scale players. And listen, Jose Ramirez could be 11th here, right? It's just the top 10 on both sides. So it doesn't mean that you don't have a good team. We could have a bunch of guys in the next, 15 of both sides. So then we have a bunch of top 25 players, but no top 10s. Because I think we have a pretty damn good team. If you look over here on the rankings, we got J-Ram, of course, but Jimenez is seen as the number 4 second baseman. Bieber, the 11th starter. I don't put a ton of stock into Hentges being the 13th best reliever. I just don't really think I believe that. But Renfroe is 16 at right field. That's pretty impressive. I'd say he's like top 3 against lefties. Naylor's 13th at first. Rocchio 17th at short. So we got a good team. Our problem spots right now are left and center, which is interesting because these are 2 players that I'm really, really excited about. So I hope it's not that bad. Kjerstad in center. I don't think we're going to start with that because I think Freeman was here learning the position a bit, and I haven't set the offseason lineup or the opening day lineup yet. So I think I'm going to go ahead and cap this one here. We'll make this one a little bit of a tighter one, kind of setting up everything so then we can get started, because I usually like to do more than just opening day. And if we do like a whole nother month, then this can end up being a pretty long ep. So let's go ahead and cut it here. But the team is set. Actually, no, I think we need to cut one. Yeah, we're 1 heavy, and it's going to have to be a pitcher because I really like to go 14-12 as opposed to 13-13. And the only guys not playing are Nito and Arias, and I want to keep all these players here. So it has to be a pitcher, and I got to be honest, y'all, I don't know who it's going to be. It's not going to be Almon, not going to be Bradish, Cantillo, Clase, Espino. I don't think it's going to be Heron, because then we only have... Oh, no, we'd still have 2 lefties. Okay, I think it's going to have to be Heron or Hentges. Yep, it's going to have to be one of those 2 lefties, and I think it's going to be Heron. Well, how did he do in spring, just to see? Oh, wow, he had an amazing spring. Hentges had a really good spring, too. Heron's was better. But I don't think that's a tiebreaker for 10 points of home run suppression. I don't think that's enough. I think I got to go with the guy with the better skills right now. So Heron, he'll be our first lefty up. It's nice depth to have, but we just don't have the spot for him right now. I'm sorry. It's classic numbers game. I know I say that a lot when we're making tough cuts, but that's what it comes down to. Now, one of the things I've learned from Perfect Team that I've been applying more, I didn't always think this way in base game sims, is when you look at this overview tab right here, you don't want to have very many white names. What that means is that they're not starting versus lefties or righties. So then you have to ask, why are they on the roster? Well, with a backup catcher, if you're not running a catcher platoon, that's okay. No problems there. I don't think Nito is a better bat, even against lefties, than Naylor. I mean, they're close, but I have David Fry actually starting against lefties right now anyway. Who's a better bat than both of them? Now, I don't think I'm going to keep this second and third game. Don't ignore all these things right now. This is for spring. So that's why he's not starting. And then Arias isn't either. He could maybe start against lefties because that's where he's better with the bat, but I don't have a spot. I don't really see it because I'm not taking out Kerstead. Kersted's got to be an everyday player for us, and we got to take the lumps against lefties. Maybe Tyler Freeman, just because he's just such a punchless hitter. But Arias isn't exactly beating the cover off the ball himself. I tell you what, Arias is going to be here with like a play every third game at DH. And then he's also like our primary backup in the infield. He backs up everybody, and he's very important. So he and Freeman will share the infield backup duties. He'll get some burn against lefties, and he's our number one guy. Like, pretty much if anything happens on the infield, Arias becomes a starter. So I think he's earning his keep enough to be there. The most you want to have, I think, is two like this. And this translates also, again, if you play perfect team, but I think it works in the base game. A backup catcher and maybe one utility guy that you can't quite start against either side, but he has value to be on the team. If you start having 3-4 names like that, bench guys that you're not using anywhere, get a better bench. Or, there's exceptions to every rule, right? Maybe you just have a stars and scrubs team and the stars are always going to start and the backup guys are really only going to get in on Sundays type 5. Okay. But just at least do the litmus test, like go through it and check, like, should this be this way? Like, let's say DeLuca wasn't starting for some reason. I'll be looking, well, am I sure I can't get him in against lefties? He's a true center fielder. Figure out what the reasons possibly are. And if you can still justify it, then do what you want. I'm not telling you how to play, but I think you really want to run that check there to make sure that you're not wasting valuable roster spots. Speaking of Kierstead, by the way, I mentioned him a few moments ago. He had a huge spring, and we need him to carry this over. I don't love the sub 300 OBP, but he was mashing the piss out of the ball. So if he's just going up there, just cranking, just to get the season started, more power to him. J-Ram had a big spring. We had a lot of guys with some really nice springs. What was our record? Not that I'm really that concerned, but I just feel like 18-11. Yeah, because we had some decent pitching performances too. Although we had some rough ones. It was a mixed bag there for sure. Spring training. Yeah, like Logan Allen got clocked. So did Bybee. So did Bieber. But Raylo was amazing. McKenzie got smoked. And then all of the bullpen except for Espino was great. So very weird setup there with the starters and relievers having, massively different outcomes in spring. So, all right, we've got our team set. I'll go over the opening day roster and everything. Actually, how do I want to do that? I mean, this is the opening day roster. You see it right here. Because I'm not going to do, when I join back with y'all, you know what? I might just start a fresh episode with opening day. Yeah, let's just do that. And then we'll start by going over the roster. I'll do all the, where they're going to be third game or whatever, type 5, get all the bullpen lineup, bullpen roles set, although they already are, but just make sure everything's good to go. And then we'll start with opening day against Boston, and we'll go through the first month and a half as the next episode. But thank you all so much for watching. Have a good one. Peace.